The fan's blades whirred to life with a violent shudder, hurling a cascade of dust and regret straight into my face like a slap from fate itself. I coughed, teetering on the ladder as the room spun, not from the blades, but from the heat of Jordan's body inches from mine, his calloused hand steadying my waist with a grip that felt like both anchor and wildfire. In that heartbeat, as our eyes locked amid the chaos, I knew my carefully guarded heart had just cracked open, and nothing in my quiet Ohio life would ever be the same. I'd always prided myself on keeping things simple in Willow Creek, this sleepy suburb outside Columbus where the cornfields whispered secrets to the wind and neighbors waved from manicured lawns without ever truly seeing each other. At 28, I was Alex Harper, the guy who ran the local bookstore downtown, shelves stuffed with dog-eared romances and forgotten poetry that mirrored the ache I buried deep. Gay in a town that tolerated but never celebrated, I'd learned to smile through the sidelong glances, to date quietly in the shadows of Cleveland bars an hour away. My two-bedroom ranch house on Elm Street was my sanctuary, butter-yellow walls, a porch swing creaking under firefly summers, and that damn ceiling fan in the living room, a relic from the previous owners, that had chosen tonight to rebel. It started with a flicker during dinner, a solo microwave meal of pad thai from the corner Thai place, the kind of night where Netflix beckoned like an old friend. The blades stuttered, then froze, leaving the air thick and still, mirroring the stagnation I'd felt since my last breakup 6 months back. Jake had been a whirlwind, tall, tattooed, a graphic designer from the city who promised forever but vanished when his ex called. "It's not you, Alex," he'd said over text, the coward's confessional. Since then, I'd patched my wounds with late-night reads and morning runs along the Scioto River, convincing myself solitude was safer than the sting of unrequited anything. But safety shattered when the fan groaned its final protest, a metallic screech echoing like a cry for help. I grabbed my toolkit from the garage, rusty screwdriver, duct tape prayer, and hauled the ladder in, cursing under my breath. 20 minutes of futile twisting later, sweat-soaked and frustrated, I glanced out the window. Across the shared fence, Jordan's lights glowed warm in his craftsman bungalow. Jordan Reyes, 30, the straight-arrow neighbor who'd moved in last spring with his wife and their golden retriever, Max. He was the epitome of Willow Creek wholesomeness, broad-shouldered from weekend carpentry gigs, with a laugh that boomed like summer thunder and eyes the color of Lake Erie after a storm. Deep blue, stormy, seeing right through pretenses. We'd exchanged the polite hellos over backyard barbecues, him flipping burgers while I nursed a beer, our wives, his wife, Elena, with her cascade of dark curls and easy grace, chatting about school fundraisers. I'd caught myself lingering on his forearms once, veins tracing like rivers on a map I longed to explore, but I'd shoved it down. Straight men didn't notice guys like me that way. Still, desperation overrode caution. I texted the group chat we'd started for storm cleanup last year. Fan acting up. Any handyman free? Willing to trade homemade lasagna. His reply pinged back in seconds. On my way. Give me 10. My pulse quickened, irrational and electric. When the doorbell chimed, I smoothed my shirt, heart hammering like I'd prepped for a first date, not a fix-it favor. Jordan arrived in worn jeans and a gray Henley that hugged his chest just enough to stir forbidden thoughts, toolbox in hand, and that disarming grin splitting his face. "Heard you got a rebel up there," he said, voice gravelly from a day at the auto shop where he tuned engines for a living. Up close, he smelled of motor oil and fresh-cut pine, a scent that rooted me to the spot. "Thanks, man. It's been possessed since the humidity spiked." I led him inside, the air between us humming with the unspoken. He assessed the fan with a mechanic's eye, ladder unfolding like an extension of his confidence. As he climbed, I hovered below, handing tools, our fingers brushing once. Accidental, electric. "Steady there," he murmured when the ladder wobbled, his free hand on my shoulder, warm through fabric. I swallowed hard, blaming the heat. We worked in companionable silence at first, the only sounds the clink of metal and the distant hum of crickets outside. But as he tightened a bolt, loosening his collar against the stuffiness, conversation trickled out like rain after drought. "Rough week?" he asked, glancing down, sweat beading on his temple. I leaned against the wall, arms crossed to hide the tremor. "The usual. Bookstore's slow. Folks more into TikTok than Tolstoy these days." "You." He paused, wrench mid-turn. "Elena and I, we're good. Busy with the shop." But his jaw tightened, a shadow crossing those blue eyes. I'd heard whispers at the farmer's market, arguments audible over the fence late at night, doors slamming like punctuation to fraying threads. Elena, a teacher at the high school, had taken up yoga retreats in the city, leaving gaps he filled with overtime. The fan sputtered back to life under his touch, a triumphant where that should have ended the evening. Instead, as dust settled, he descended the ladder with a flourish. All set. Test it out. I flicked the switch, blades spinning smooth, cool air kissing my skin. Relief washed over me, mingled with something sharper, regret that his hands weren't the cause of the breeze. You're a lifesaver. Lasagna next week. He wiped his hands on a rag, lingering in the doorway. Hey Alex, you ever feel like life's just spinning out of control? Like no matter how hard you tighten the screws, it wobbles anyway. The vulnerability hit like a gut punch. Straight-laced Jordan, cracking open. I met his gaze, the room shrinking to just us. Every damn day. But sometimes, you let it spin. See where it takes you. That night, as he walked back to his side of the fence, I stood in the dark living room, fan whispering overhead, wondering if I'd just invited chaos into my carefully ordered world. Little did I know, the real whirlwind was only beginning. The days blurred into a tentative rhythm after that fix. Willow Creek's autumn, leaves turning the streets into a fiery tapestry that matched the burn in my chest. I'd catch glimpses of Jordan through the kitchen window, mowing his lawn shirtless on Saturdays, muscles flexing under the October sun, or walking Max at dawn, his silhouette etched against the mist rolling off the fields. Each sighting twisted the knife of want deeper, a secret I confessed only to my journal, pages filling with sketches of his hands, his laugh, the way his eyes crinkled at the corners like invitations. Work at Harper's Haven became my escape, recommending Queer Lit to the one college kid brave enough to ask, or losing myself in inventory counts that numbed the ache. But Jordan invaded even there. On Thursday, he swung by after his shift, toolbox traded for a six-pack of craft IPAs from the microbrewery downtown. Payment for the fan, he joked, but his eyes held weight, like he needed the company more than the beer. We cracked them open on my porch swing, the chains creaking softly as the sun dipped low, painting the sky in bruised purples. Conversation flowed easy at first, high school football rivalries, the best dive bar in Columbus for wings. But as the second beer warmed us, he leaned back, staring at the stars pricking the dusk. Elena's gone again. Another workshop in Cincinnati. Says she needs space to find herself. What the hell does that even mean? I sipped slowly, heart aching for him. It means she's lost, Jordan, and maybe dragging you into the fog with her. The words slipped out bolder than intended, laced with the empathy of someone who'd navigated his own relational shipwrecks. He turned, profile sharp against the twilight. Yeah? And what about you, Alex? You're always so put together. No drama, no mess. How do you do it? Laughter bubbled up, bitter as the hops. Illusion, my friend. I'm a pro at faking the fine. The admission hung, heavy with the truth I'd never voiced to him. The parade of ghosts in my closet, the fear of being the gay neighbor who scared off the straights. His hand landed on my knee then, a casual pat meant to reassure, but it lingered a beat too long, thumb brushing denim in a way that sent sparks racing up my spine. Well, bullshit. You're real. That's rare around here. His voice dropped, roughened by emotion, and in that suspended breath, I saw it, the crack in his armor, the man beneath the husband, the friend. We talked until the bottles emptied, the night wrapping around us like a blanket. When he stood to leave, our shoulders brushed at the door, and I swear the air crackled. Thanks for listening, he murmured, close enough I could count the flecks of gold in his irises. Feels good to unload. Anytime, I whispered, door clicking shut behind him, leaving me breathless against the wood. Sleep evaded me that night, body thrumming with what-ifs, the fan's steady hum a mocking lullaby. By Sunday, the tension coiled tighter. The neighborhood block party buzzed on Maple Lane, tables groaning under potluck casseroles, kids chasing glow sticks as dusk fell. Elena was back, her laughter tinkling like wind chimes as she mingled with the PDA crowd, but Jordan hovered at the edges, nursing a soda, eyes distant. I manned the dessert table, slicing my famous apple crisp, when he wandered over, plate in hand. Smells like heaven, he said, forking a bite, moan of appreciation low and unintendedly intimate. Elena called him from across the yard, waving him to a group photo, and he went, but not before squeezing my arm. Firm, fleeting, a promise of later. Later came after the fireworks, when stragglers dispersed, and I found him on my back porch, Max at his feet, staring at the fireflies dancing like lost souls. Couldn't sleep, he admitted when I joined him, offering a blanket against the chill. Mind if I crash here a bit? We sat shoulder to shoulder on the steps, the silence companionable until it wasn't. Alex, have you ever loved someone you weren't supposed to? His question sliced the night, raw and reckless. My breath caught. Every time. The confession trembled, laced with the weight of a lifetime loving from afar. First crushes in locker rooms, stolen glances at proms, the endless scroll of Grindr profiles that never filled the void. He nodded, slow, like piecing together a puzzle. Elena's. She's everything I thought I wanted. Steady job, white picket fence, the dream. But lately, it feels like I'm acting a part. Like I'm spinning in place. The vulnerability cracked me open. I turned, our faces inches apart, the fireflies mirroring the sparks in his eyes. Then stopped spinning alone. I said softly, hand rising to cup his jaw before I could think, rough stubble under my palm, his breath hitching. For an eternal second, he leaned in, lips parting as if to bridge the gap. Then Max barked, shattering the spell, and he pulled back, eyes wide with confusion. Shit, Alex. It's okay. I lied, withdrawing, heart fracturing like glass underfoot. He left soon after, apologies tumbling, but the seed was planted. That night, as rain pattered the roof, I wept for what could be, the fan whirring above like a heartbeat out of sync. The fallout hit like a Midwest squall, swift, unrelenting, uprooting everything in its path. Monday morning, Jordan avoided my yard, his truck peeling out for work before dawn. Texts went unanswered. Coffee. You good? Silence screamed louder than words, echoing the rejection I'd armored against since coming out at 18, my father's disappointed sigh still a scar. At the bookstore, distraction reigned. I alphabetized thrillers with furious precision, but customers blurred. Mrs. Delaney asking for cozy mysteries, her pitying smile when I fumbled the change. Everything all right, dear? You look peaky. I nodded lies, burying myself in a new shipment of LGBTQ plus memoirs, titles like The Velvet Rage, mocking my turmoil. By afternoon, desperation clawed. I drove to the river trail, pounding pavement until lungs burned, the Sciotos rush a balm to my chaos. But even there, memories ambushed. That almost kiss, his warmth, the terror in his retreat. Was it revulsion? Or fear of the truth he'd glimpsed in himself? Home brought no solace. The fan spun mockingly, cool air chilling the sweat of anxiety. A knock shattered the quiet. Elena's, her face drawn under perfectly applied makeup. Alex, can we talk? About Jordan. My stomach plummeted. She stepped inside, elegant in yoga pants and a cashmere sweater, perching on my couch like a queen granting audience. He's been distant, snapping at Max, skipping dinners. And last night, he came home reeking of regret, mumbling your name in his sleep. Heat flooded my cheeks, guilt and hope warring. Elena, She held up a hand, eyes softening. I'm not blind, Alex. Or stupid. We've been circling the drain for months. Me chasing enlightenment, him chasing. Whatever shadows got him twisted. Tears welled, surprising us both. I love him, but not like that anymore. And if it's you making his world spin, God, just don't hurt him. He's braver than he knows. Her words unlocked something, a floodgate of grace from the woman I'd envied. We hugged, fierce and forgiving, her whisper in my ear. Tell him I said go find your truth. She left with a sad smile. The door's click of permission slipped to my heart. Emboldened, I texted him. Porch. Now. No excuses. Minutes later, his truck rumbled in, headlights cutting the dusk like accusations. He approached slow, hands shoved in pockets, face a storm cloud. Alex, about the other night. Save it. I cut him off, voice steel wrapped in silk. You leaned in, Jordan, then bolted like I'd branded you. Was it me? Or the mirror I held up? He stopped short, breath ragged. Both. Christ, Alex, I've got a wife, a life, straight as an arrow, that's me. But you make me question the damn bow. The admission tore free, raw, his hands raking through hair. I've never, with a guy, hell, never thought about it. Until you. Your laugh, the way you see through the bullshit. It's terrifying. Rain started then, fat drops splattering the railing, mirroring the tears I blinked back. Terrifying's okay, I said, stepping closer, bridging the gap. But running? That's the real spin out. Feel this. I took his hand, pressing it to my chest, heartbeat thundering. That's what you do to me. Real. No script. Lightning cracked, illuminating his face, vulnerable, alive. He surged forward, crashing into me like waves on shore, lips claiming mine in a kiss born of desperation and dawn. Rough, hungry, tasting of rain and revelation, his hands fisting my shirt, pulling me flush. I melted, fingers threading his wet hair, the world narrowing to salt and heat. The porch, our confessional. We broke apart gasping, foreheads pressed, rain sheeting down. What now? He whispered, voice breaking. Now? We figure it out. Together. But as thunder rolled, doubt flickered, Elena's grace notwithstanding, Willow Creek's whispers waited, ready to whirl us into scandal. The affair ignited like dry tinder under a match, fierce, consuming, devouring the boundaries we'd built. That first full night came unbidden, a Tuesday when Elena announced her weekend retreat extended, her voice over speakerphone laced with finality. Take the time, Jordan. We both need it. He hung up, eyes haunted, and called me. Alex, can I come over? Just to talk. Talk devolved into touch, clothes shedding like old skins on my living room floor. His body was a revelation, hard planes and soft yields, scars from shop mishaps mapping adventures I'd only dreamed. We moved slow at first, exploratory, my hands tracing the V of his hips, eliciting gasps that shattered his straight facade. God, Alex, he groaned as I kissed down his throat, pulse leaping under my lips. This, you, it's everything. In the dim glow of bedside lamps, we tangled, sweat slick, urgent, his inexperience a fire that burned brighter for its novelty. He learned my rhythms, tentative fingers mapping pleasure, mouth hot and eager. I guided him, whispering affirmations against fevered skin, our union a symphony of sighs and shudders, climax crashing like the river in flood. Afterward, curled in sheets scented of us, his head on my chest, he murmured, I didn't know it could feel like this. Like coming home. Mornings blurred into stolen hours. Coffee on the porch before work, his truck idling as I kissed him goodbye, beard burn a secret badge. We'd sneak moments in the bookstore's back room, door locked, his hands pinning me to stacks of paperbacks, laughter muffled against collars. Willow Creek slumbered unaware, but tension simmered. Gossip at the diner about Elena's absences, sidelong glances when we mowed lawns in sync. It's not, Jordan snapped, voice thunder. I froze in the doorway, heart seizing. Tyler's eyes narrowed on me, suspicion sharpening. Then what? Spill, Reyes. Jordan's gaze flicked to mine, pleading. It's personal, Ty. Leave it. But Tyler didn't. That evening, he banged on my door, face flushed from beers at the tavern. What the hell's going on with you two? Jordan's unraveling, missing shifts, eyes like a kicked dog. If you're messing with his head, back off. I shot back, stance firm despite the quake inside. You don't know shit about us. Us. Tyler barked a laugh, bitter. He's married, Harper. Straight. Whatever game you're playing, end it before you wreck him. The door slammed, echo ringing, but his words festered. Doubt crept in like winter chill. Was I the wrecker, seducing a man from his path? Jordan arrived later, sensing the storm. Ty called. Said he's worried. I paced the kitchen, linoleum cold under socks. He thinks I'm poison. Maybe he's right. You deserve. Stop. He grabbed my wrists, pulling me close, blue eyes fierce. You're not poison. You're the antidote. Elena and I, we talked. Really talked. She's filing, Alex. Wants the house, the dog. Says she loves me like a brother now. And me? I love you. Terrifying, spinning truth, and all. Tears stung, relief crashing. We made love on the counter then, slow and sacred, reclaiming each other amid the wreckage. But Tyler's shadow lingered, a harbinger. Thanksgiving loomed like a guillotine, family gatherings a minefield in conservative Ohio. Jordan's clan, boisterous Reyes from Cleveland, expected the full show, Elena at his side, toasts to marital bliss. Mine, smaller, Dad's quiet disapproval since my coming out, Mom's hopeful bridge building. We decided secrecy, separate tables, stolen glances across the community hall's potluck. It held until dessert, when Tyler, invited by Jordan's sister, pulled him aside in the coat room, voices rising. Saw you two earlier. Parking lot. Too close, man. Tell me I'm wrong. You're wrong. Jordan lied, but Tyler pressed, shoving him against lockers. Bullshit. You're throwing it all away for him? Some bookstore fairy. The slur landed like a blade. Jordan swung, fist connecting with jaw in a crack that silenced the hall. Chaos erupted, plates clattering, gasps rippling. I burst in, pulling him off, blood on Tyler's lip mirroring the rift. Enough. Families converged, accusations flying. What's this about? Jordan, explain. Elena, there with her new yoga bow, washed with sad knowing. In the melee, truth spilled, Jordan's voice breaking over sobs. I love him, okay? Alex. It's real. Stairs bored in, a tableau of shock. Aunts clutching pearls, cousins whispering, dad's face paling. Mom squeezed my hand under the table, silent solidarity. Tyler stormed out, disowned in spirit. The drive home was funeral quiet. Jordan's knuckles bruised, my heart bruised deeper. We survived, I whispered later, bandaging his hand by the fire, flames dancing like defiant fireflies. But the world's spinning harder now. He kissed my temple, resolute. Then we spin together. No more hiding. Winter settled, blanketing Willow Creek in hush, but our love bloomed defiant. Snowshoe hikes along frozen trails, hands linked in gloves. New Year's at a queer bar in Columbus, his first slow dance under disco lights, body swaying tentative then sure against mine. Elena's divorce papers signed amicably, her new chapter a bomb. Tyler sent a grudging apology text. Hurt me, but don't break him. Forgiveness simmered, slow-cooked. Yet Kitchen peaked in February, Valentine's gale force. Anonymous letters arrived, typed venom slipped under doors, pervert neighbors corrupting our town. Go back to the city, freaks. Willow Creek's underbelly surfaced, fueled by Tyler's loose lips, church whispers turning to outright shuns. Grocery runs met averted eyes, the bookstore's foot traffic halved, reviews tanking with veiled barbs. Jordan raged, wanting confrontation, but I held him back. They'll tire. Love like ours. It's louder than hate. Still, fear gnawed. Nights when he'd wake thrashing from dreams of loss, clinging to me like flotsam. What if they run us out? Take everything. Then we rebuild. I vowed, tracing his scars. You're my everything. The climax crested at the town council meeting, budget votes masking uglier agendas. Petitions circulated. Protect family values. Relocate the bookstore. Tyler testified, voice cracking. It's not hate. It's fear for our kids. Booze mingled with applause, the room a powder keg. Jordan stood then, hand in mine under the table, no more shadows. I'm Jordan Reyes. Local. Gay. In love with the man beside me. Gasps rippled, flashes from local press. We fix cars, run shops, pay taxes. Same as you. But love? That's universal. Deny it, and you deny your own hearts. His words, forged in our fires, landed like thunder, silencing detractors. Elena spoke next. Let them be. They've hurt no one. Even Tyler shifted, mumbling assent. The vote failed, 52 to 48, a razor-thin victory. Cheers erupted, hugs from unlikely allies. Mrs. Delaney, the old widow who'd bought every romance on my shelf. Outside, under street lamps haloed by melting snow, Jordan pulled me close. We did it. Spring unfurled gentle, cherry blossoms dusting Elm Street like confetti for our quiet wedding. Courthouse simple, Mom beaming, Dad's handshake firm with unsaid pride. Tyler showed, awkward but present, toasting with a beer. To spinning right. Elena danced with her beau, Max at our feet, tail wagging forgiveness. Years later, as our adopted son toddled the backyard, fan whirring steady overhead, I'd catch Jordan's eye across the grill, that first kiss spark alive. Willow Creek evolved slow, pride flags on porches, my bookstore hosting readings that drew crowds. Weeds spun through storms, emerging woven tighter, a testament. Love, in all its wild turns, writes the world. In the end, it wasn't the fan that changed everything. It was the man who fixed it, and the courage to let our worlds collide, forever entwined in the beautiful, unbreakable spin.